Good enough.
It's Angels in the outfield, man.
I've never seen somebody holding on so hard to the play right there. Like, he was like, trying not to laugh. His eyes were popping out of his socket.
The Giants quarterback Loletta guilty of disorderly charge.
Oh, good.
What an idiot.
Good for him.
That's probably for the best.
All right.
That's how we should have opened it right there.
No, we're cold opening on that.
Yeah, I like that.
I like it.
Welcome to another edition of the Sort of Stupid Sports Podcast. I'm Blaine Smith, and I got a table of good people here, starting with Darren Wells, Troy Gantt,
What's up?
Matthew Shiflett,
Yo.
Noah McCune.
Hi.
Once again, Darren did not make noise on this intro.
I
So, I didn't know if that's like a spoken thing that we do all the time.
It's all good.
It's
you
fine.
Know, we're on episode 5.
We're still learning.
I should probably learn how to talk. Okay.
How we doing today, guys? Pretty good?
We're doing all right.
Not a bad week in the sports.
Nah. I think the divisional round is pretty...
I don't know.
In my book, it was good.
A couple blowouts and one good game. There's really only
There was really only one good game.
And then
We say that because none of us like the Cowboys.
Well, I mean, it wasn't even a... I mean...
literally the Rams.
They didn't turn it on soon enough to make it a close game.
No.
Yeah.
They were the only ones.
I think they,
but-
just fired Jason Garrett, which they should have done like 10 years ago. But
Yeah.
has he been there for 10 years? I don't know, but the
I
coach
don't
is
know.
right.
But yeah, he should have been.
But
gone
Jerry
for a while.
Jones loves him or something.
Yeah, he's starting to look like Marvin Lewis.
The only
But he
reason
has a
I love
playoff
him-
win, though.
I was going to say,
That's
he's
true.
already more
Two.
successful than Marvin
Yes, he
Lewis.
has 2 playoff wins, I believe.
Well, if we're going to start
Those
there...
are the 2 times that he's been to the
let's
playoffs.
talk about the Rams playing Dallas. The final score of that game was Rams 30, Cowboys 22. Does anybody want to...
CJ Anderson,
realize
though.
we're going out of
Like,
Yeah, what
just
about
appreciate
CJ
that
Anderson?
CJ Anderson.
CJ
Fourth
Anderson looks
team
like
this year.
he looks like a dad in a rec football league, like flag football league, and he is just sawing down people.
I saw something that was like, this athlete proves that you can eat nothing but donuts and drink alcohol for years and still make it in the NFL.
Yeah, that's what CeCe Sabathia is my role model. Looks like 400 pounds, still slinging the leather.
But I mean, this was obviously one of the best pickups. Like, it makes you wonder how no one did it before.
Because they didn't trust
Or-
him.
Well, honestly, he was on the Raiders for a week and they cut him.
Yeah, or
He was
it,
on a
makes,
team.
it
He was
could
on one team and they didn't even take a snap with him. They cut him.
it could make you wonder how good is this offensive line / is Todd Gurley all that good?
Well, because...
I think Don Gurley is still pretty good. Towards a running back.
I mean, it's a
so-
stretch, but
The crazy thing to me is I also found out that C.J. Anderson was worked out by the Chiefs after Kareem Hunt was
Really?
let go, and they turned him down for Sharkantrick West.
so Chiefs versus
That's good.
Rams
Wow.
in the Super Bowl is what you're saying.
Well, that is an interesting question.
I think that's the one everybody wants to see.
Is it though?
Do we want to see the rematch?
People are tired of the Patriots.
You know, I don't want the Patriots.
I thought you were.
love
I
to
thought
see
you were
the
talking about the
Chiefs.
Saints being
Well,
out. I was
Oh
like,
no!
We'll
but
talk
I mean,
about the Super Bowl predictions.
those
in
are
a
the
little bit.
two
Well, no, but-
exciting teams.
But I have a question. So you talk about, who's going to go to the Super Bowl. Does this addition of CJ Anderson to their roster make them flip the script when it comes to that Saints game? Because they lost
know.
last
The
time.
problem
Saints
is
defense has one of the best rushing defenses in the league.
And the problem is the Rams defense. And Jared Goff has really regressed
Jared Goff is
heading into
like-
the playoff
I don't
time.
know if anyone knows, but Drew Brees is a lot better quarterback than Jared
It's
Goff.
pretty good.
So he might just pick apart that man. And that Marcus Peters has beef with Michael Thomas. And Michael Thomas is probably like the best receiver in the game right now. He's just going to destroy Marcus Peters.
He's the best
Don't
receiver
say
in the
Odell
playoffs.
Beckham.
I mean, he's behind like Odell, Julio Jones.
He's
Antonio
definitely
Brown.
the best receiver in the
DeAndre
playoffs right
Hopkins.
now.
Slow your roll.
I mean, his stats in the playoffs are
Fifth. I put him fifth. That's fine.
I mean, whatever.
I don't know. It was really nice. Like, I watched the locker room, the video they had of the locker room. It was really nice to see Sean McVay going around giving like the game ball to CJ. He was like, "Well, we couldn't have done this without CJ Anderson and Todd Gurley. And man, that offensive line, you guys played really, really well." It was really nice for me as a Bengals fan to see Andrew Whitworth get that game ball after not getting any playoff wins in Cincinnati. Finally getting one. It was real nice. It was
I
he
like
deserves
Sean
it.
Payton's locker room moment more.
Oh, I do.
Oh, yeah.
I do. too.
Wheeling in the Lombardi with
We'll get to that.
$200,000.
We're saving the best
3
for
wins.
last.
You want this? Win 3 freaking games.
There you go.
So,
I love Sean Payton.
Michael Thomas he's had 3 playoff games and he has 27 receptions for 387 yards and 3 touchdowns.
He's a man.
It's okay.
129
We're not
yards
at that
a
game yet. Slow your roll.
Yeah.
I know,
Come on
but I
now.
didn't throw that out
Yeah,
there.
your bias is showing. Darren.
Let's talk about Jared Goff for a second and how he has regressed. Jared Goff threw 28 times, completed 15% or 15 of those balls, which is like 53%. 186 yards.
Quick maths.
Nice.
186 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Dak did better. Dak got a better game.
Dak 100% had a better game. I mean,
Cowboys have a decent defense, but still, like.
Their defense did not play
But
good.
I mean, basically, it was just like hand the ball off. Because they ran it for 273 yards.
And when you have that kind of running game, you don't need to
Like
pass
Cowboys.
a lot.
Like, what are you doing? Like, come on.
What I'm thinking of is, I mean, we saw the Saints started out real slow against the Eagles.
So,
I mean, if you allow the Rams defense to get cocky and get that confidence up, I mean, you're going to have a hard time moving the ball. I don't care if you are Drew Brees.
I think the Eagles came at Brees with something a little different. And but that's the thing
More
about
different
Drew
than
Brees.
Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh.
No, you have a very good point. But you gotta think the Eagles' defensive line is pretty good too.
Oh, yeah,
you got
they're
Fletcher
good,
Cox on that side.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not anymore.
is that a good segue to talk about Philly, New Orleans? Because we've been talking about.
Wait, hold on. Well, yeah,
well, hold on, but listen to this.
We're just talking about all of them.
I was thinking more of the
Well, yeah.
matchup between those.
But Michael
We'll talk about that
Gallup.
later.
Michael Gallup.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone?
Oh, yeah.
He had 6 catches for 119 yards.
What a man.
Well, that's the thing, though. He wasn't a great receiver in the regular season. Like, you didn't hear Michael Gallup's name
He had a
all
couple
that
of,
often.
like, yeah.
Okay.
He was there. I think he was their number one
Dalton
before Amari
Schultz
came.
was their third.
Well, yeah, that's why they were bad.
They did-
Oh, yeah.
Before Amari
They,
came.
Yeah.
they really didn't have a number one for Amari.
Yeah.
No.
And
They
so,
would've
what does
made
that?
the playoffs,
But
though.
what does that tell you about this team that's about to be going up against one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time against an arguably better wide receiver core?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Ted Ginn. No, dude.
I don't think that's good. I mean, it doesn't look well. It doesn't bode well for them.
Talib and Peters have to.
Can we just
find
talk
some type
about
of
Marcus
consistency.
Peters? He's not as good. Like
Marcus Peters is good. He just does not have the consistency that he needs.
he was
The thing-
great with the
if you
Chiefs,
would-
and this year I'm just kind of like.
See, Marcus Peters is a guy that if he's available, I will take him on my team at any time. But he's
especially with the Giants and cornerbacks are a little weak.
Ooh,
Right,
shots.
Talk about the Jackrabbit.
Yeah, I am.
Janoris Jenkins.
Hmm.
Come on.
Who?
One of the best corners in the league.
Oh,
Learn something. Son.
apparently your team is the greatest team of all time.
Well, I mean,
And
you
it
said it.
couldn't
I
even.
didn't.
They won like what, like 4 games?
All right, so this.
It's a rebuild.
I think we talked about that one enough. We're
Well,
gonna go.
I-
We're gonna talk about.
But
this,
we do
the
have to
Saints
talk
and
about-
Eagles
Well,
a bit.
hold on. I think we need to mention something. What was the stat before of Zeke running? I think it was 20 touches.
It was
and
like,
they were
yeah, 20
unbeaten.
touches or more and you win.
He had 20 touches for 47 yards
This-
and a 2.4 yards per carry.
Look,
average.
no one's saying their defensive line isn't good.
No.
They've got a great.
Right now they got to
They
face Alvin Kamara.
And
contained
Melvin
Ezekiel
Ingram.
Elliott.
No,
They
Ingram.
contained him in the
Yeah.
passing game as well.
Mark
Ingram.
Mark
Why-
Ingram.
I said Melvin.
Chargers linebacker.
I keep mixing up names in my head. But yeah, like when you're dealing with one guy, that's the thing. I've always loved 2-back systems, which Todd Gurley and CJ Anderson.
Yeah.
That's
Evidently, no, yeah.
obviously working out. And now you're going Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara. It's a lot
That's-
harder to deal with something like that.
I argue.
Sonny Michel, James White. Tough back.
I think James White's more of like just a receiver.
Tough backfield to
Yeah.
deal with.
Yeah.
Well, still, I mean,
Yeah,
They
he
still
has,
running
he, has,
back.
he has like 12 receptions for
Yeah, because
130
Brady-
yards. He
yeah,
must
Brady
have,
dumped
He
it
was
off.
like their leading receiver.
Yeah.
Brady dumps it off 2 yards, throws it to James White. Every
Yeah, so
play,
those are
gets
pretty
like
much handoffs,
40
so
yards.
you know.
Yeah.
These are
Those are the most
pretty much-
beautiful passes I've ever seen in my life,
Yeah.
though.
Only a
Did you,
goat could
did,
make
you,
this.
did you know he's 41? He's 41. He's only 41.
All right, so what game are we moving to next?
Let's go ahead and talk about the Colts and Chiefs because this happened. It was kind of disappointing, but honestly, in the back of my mind,
You had to see it coming.
going into Arrowhead Stadium and you got the snow coming down. You're a dome team, so you don't play in those conditions normally.
And-
It's gonna be hard to pass the ball, and if your run game doesn't happen, you're not gonna win the game.
Andrew Luck didn't look great.
I think the Colts got exposed in this game as a dome team.
Their defense got it. Because when their defense turned around, the quarterbacks they played were like no one good besides Deshaun Watson.
I mean, you'd have to go back and look at their stats and like where they played. Like, how is their road score? Because I don't know that off the top of my head. But how'd they do on the road this season?
Well, I mean, it's
And
not.
we
It's
also
not.
don't want to talk about how the Chiefs were the number 1 seed.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
saw
like,
that.
it's not like they
No, I'll
played a
give
bad
And,
team.
and listen,
I'll give you that.
Listen, Patrick Mahomes didn't do a whole lot better. He was 27 for 41 for 278 yards, So he threw more passes and had only 70, which is a lot. Granted, 70 yards is a lot more than I ever throw for an NFL game. But he didn't throw for much more than Andrew Luck did.
You're right.
So both teams struggled quarterback-wise. It's just when you look at the running, Damian Williams, 25 carries, 129 yards. Like, there's a difference there.
I mean, they relied heavily in that game on a rushing game. I mean, 4 players had a rushing touchdown in that game.
Damian Williams has kind of stepped up for them.
He really has.
Came out of nowhere.
I mean, he got caught by the Dolphins.
But I think it's also interesting that you see both with Ezekiel Elliott and with Marlon Mack that these teams are figuring out if you just shut down this one player, that's it. You win.
Well, run games are so huge in NFL and college. Any level of football playing, you've got to have a run game in order to open up a passing game of some kind. No matter how important the QB position becomes and how much these guys are getting paid, you're not going to be able to just go out there and throw the ball every down. You have to have a semblance of a run game in order to win a game. And if they're not able to produce for you, which he only had 9 carries in the game, which is a little odd to me in a cold, snowy game. But it just...
They got down quick, too.
Yeah, which is very surprising from this Chiefs defense. How many 3-and-outs did they have?
They're
first 6?
Like in the first half, the Colts were
They look
terrible.
terrible.
They didn't have a first down in the first half.
Yeah.
Their first touchdown was on a blocked punt. So
Yeah. I think we need to mention for the Chiefs, Travis Kelce, because he had a lot of catches for first downs, 10-plus yards first downs in this game.
he's real good.
He's
all right.
He played really, really, really well this game.
I mean, all in all, we kind of expected it. We wanted the Colts to win. We wanted the Colts to beat the Patriots because that would have been awesome to see. But this is going to be a good team in the coming years, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Because they have...
We
talked about it last week.
Or something,
well, they have cap space...
Galore.
Yeah, out the wazoo. Because I like saying weird words. And
I had a funny thought about the Colts. Do you think they were kind of rejoicing seeing this young core come up and Tom Brady's out of his way, out of the AFC? And then, and it's so Patrick Mahomes is just going to start. It's we're never going to have it easy. Okay.
I don't know. Overall, the final score of that game was Chiefs 31, Colts 13, and it was just what we'd expect of the Kansas City Chiefs.
all right, so I mean, as much as we don't want to, we got to talk about the New England Patriots versus the LA Chargers. Not even a fun game to watch from the beginning. It was
the game took forever.
41-28. It's hard to play in Foxborough, but guess where the Patriots aren't playing next week?
They're not playing in Foxborough.
And guess what? The weather's going to be maybe negative degrees.
I mean,
could be the coldest.
The weather's terrible in Boston all the time. So.
That's true. We'll talk about those games here in a minute, but let's talk about Tom Brady.
I don't want to talk about Tom Brady.
I mean,
the chosen one.
We always talk about Tom Brady.
Tom, I never turned my back on you through this whole playoff.
Oh, shut up.
I picked you guys from the beginning.
That's not true. Because last week you
Okay.
were like, I'm locking it up for the Indy Colts.
I would like to flip-flop for the third week. Back to my original flop.
In fairness, he did say he knows what's going to happen in his mind despite what he wants from his heart.
We all knew.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he looked pretty good throwing it 5 yards. What he did most of
He
the
averaged
game.
7.8.
Yeah, because of the James White running it for 10 yards after every play.
I mean, Sonny Michel's really coming into his own.
Michel,
He's
yeah.
becoming the running back we all
Absolute
thought he would be.
Georgia running backs.
He
They're
had
just
3 touchdowns.
Melvin Gordon had 9 carries for 15 yards.
I mean, he got hurt, so there's that. But, yeah, not a good night.
Touchdown.
How about Julian Edelman?
Oh, my gosh.
Playoff Julian.
Should we drug test him again?
Probably.
No? Maybe.
Drug test everyone on that team just for the heck of it.
I mean, 9 catches
Not
for
Gronk.
151
Gronk's
yards.
perfectly fine.
Or Josh Gordon.
Look at
You already
Gronk's
got him.
blocking. though.
Josh Gordon.
Speaking of...
Gronk only had 1 catch.
Speaking
But
of
he was a
Gronk.
I think he's
monster
gonna
in
retire.
the block.
Yeah, no, he blocked real well.
Okay, speaking of Gronk, any way we think we see Gronk on the field next year?
He's retiring.
You think?
I think he is. I'm 90% sure he's
Just
done
like a
after
health
this year.
reason?
He hasn't done much this
I think
year.
I think the
He's been
Patriots.
injured a lot,
I think
too.
the Patriots win the Super Bowl. Tom and Rob lock arms, and I think they just walk off into the sunset together.
I mean, honestly, there's no better way to go out than on the top.
If Tom Brady retires, which I don't think he'll retire this year, but if he retires this year, Gronk's gone. But I still think Gronk's gone anyways.
He doesn't want to play for anyone but Tom Brady.
Yeah.
But
I mean, who wouldn't?
Tom, Rob, Bill Belichick, all of them just retire all at the same time. Just completely screw the organization.
Robert Kraft would just have a heart attack and just keel
Or just sell the team the next day. I don't need this anymore.
Give the keys to McDaniels, and then Danny Etling is your quarterback. Because
is he still there?
I don't know.
I think it's Warrior time.
So remember last week how the home team won one game? Every win was by a home team this week.
Yeah.
So home field advantage turns out it does matter.
Yeah.
For the later rounds, at least.
Let's talk also about the Chargers running game. At a grand total of 19 yards.
There was no running game.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't know what's up with that.
Austin Eckler get 4 yards in there?
No, Justin Jackson did.
Oh,
Austin
really?
Eckler didn't play.
Yeah, he did.
He at least
he had 3 catches.
Oh, yeah, he had 3 catches, but he didn't have a rush.
Yeah, he's a receiving back.
Yeah.
That's fair.
He's James White, but not as good, apparently.
I mean, speaking of passing...
A lot more jacked, though.
Speaking of passing, you know, Rivers threw 51 times, completed 25% of those balls. That's not good.
Is he the most unlucky quarterback?
I would say you're...
I think this was like his last chance to go to a Super Bowl.
I think you're right. I mean, unless they put
sad.
a good team around him next year.
I mean, yeah. I think they're just going to give it to Geno Smith, you know?
No.
Like the football gods even just dangled that carrot in front of him. Like, hey, man, you're going to have a great season this year. Everybody's going to pick you to go to the Super Bowl.
I thought they had a chance.
He had to travel to Baltimore and then turn around and travel to New England.
And you're just going to get your heart snatched out by Tom Brady.
For the 8th time. He's never beat
Heart
Tom Brady.
snatched out and eaten in front of him.
That just goes
defecated
that,
right there.
They just go show that Joe Flacco is better than Philip Rivers.
Like
honestly.
they showed a couple, shots of him on the sideline, and he just looked shell shocked. Like, I can't believe it happened again. Like, he legitimately couldn't believe it.
Did you guys see that video of him? It was like 2 minutes long of him just talking all that smack without swearing.
Yeah.
Like, it was one of the greatest smack talkers, and he didn't even swear the entire time.
And then there's Andrew Luck, who did swear for like the first time in his life, and then he
apologized
looks over, he's like, I'm so sorry.
3 times in the interview. Said a sentence. Man. I'm sorry about that. I shouldn't have said one more sentence. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry.
All right, so the game we've all been waiting for and have already talked about probably 10 times. Like, this was... So we I think all of us, except for maybe Blaine, went into this game cheering for both teams.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
if Nick Foles could have signed a little contract that day and just moved on over to the Saints, it would have been fine. But then Drew Brees and Nick Foles both win the Super Bowl.
Honestly, I think the best play of the game was that Taysom Hill touchdown pass that didn't happen.
Oh my gosh, I was so excited for that.
We were all excited.
What a lame hold.
There was a hold. Yeah. That guy had a broken hand or something.
Pete had an injury.
Oh, really?
So, because like throughout that game, I was like, this dude, he won't stop holding. Apparently, he had like a broken hand or something.
Right. He played through
so I'll give him
no excuse though.
Thanks for that.
I guess we'll forgive him. Whatever.
Could have just set the bench.
Still took away a Taysom Hill touchdown from me.
Beautiful.
From me. You took it from me.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? You took it from him.
So, but I mean, this game opened up first play with the Drew Brees interception, and we were all thinking,
it's over.
It's happening again.
Pretty sure I caught it.
I mean, after they went down, 14-0, I was like, well, lock it up.
It was
his biggest comeback.
I mean, Nick Foles, that drive, he dropped a dime of a pass off of. I don't even know what happened. It looked like I don't remember who was covering him, but just gave up.
That was the problem. No one was
Well,
covering.
the ball was still in the air, and you can see him just stop running, and then it was a touchdown. It's like I don't
think it was Marcus Williams.
Like maybe he also signed the same contract with the devil that Nick Foles did, but I don't know. The Saints prevailed in the end, 20-14. It was a fun game to watch. Mm-hmm. Quite honestly, in my opinion, the only fun game to watch so far in the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, no, that Bears game.
The Bears game was good. The Bears, because again, God wouldn't let Nick Foles lose
until now.
So you guys think Will Lutz is buying Marshawn Lattimore a nice present today?
Oh my goodness.
Because that could have went very differently for Will Lutz.
Yeah. I mean, I think he should be buying an Alshon Jeffrey present right now.
Yeah.
I mean, yikes.
Alshon Jeffrey, though, let's talk about him for a second. He was a baller in that game.
He catches that ball 9 times out of 10.
I don't. Of all the people to let that ball slip through their hands,
I would almost say he catches that 99 times out of 100.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, when I looked at it, it almost looked like the ball was thrown too hard, though, and it just, like, bounced out of
the
it.
thing is, when you're in the NFL,
Yeah.
you gotta
no,
catch the
I
ball.
get it.
I think
get it.
Nick might have been a little nervous.
If
I mean,
I would be.
Nick Foles nervous.
Are you kidding me? He had that on a rope. It was right
Yeah,
there.
It was a beautiful pass.
They were marching down the field too.
But I mean,
So, like-
if that was like Wendell Smallwood, I would have understood because you would have to jump up to get it.
Pretty small.
But I mean, it just doesn't
Funny joke.
make any. It just doesn't make any sense to me that of all people on that team,
I think it's going
Alshon Jeffrey.
And they'll probably never get a chance because Carson Wentz will be their future quarterback. So
I think it's
they
gonna
gets
be
that chance.
Bad choice, not making the playoffs next year.
Yeah.
So.
Ooh.
You do you.
Especially apparently since Dwayne Haskins will lead the Giants to a better record.
But I mean,
Probably a couple Super Bowls. Hopefully.
people were saying
Love you, Dwayne. Always
Drew
have.
Brees- People were saying Drew Brees was playing bad down the stretch. I think Drew Brees had a
I
phenomenal
think
game.
Drew
Down the
Brees
stretch.
does what Drew Brees does.
like,
He
was
was
not-
shook in the first quarter.
Oh, yeah.
the first
Oh,
quarter.
There was
yeah.
that one drive where he they had 2 false starts or 2 delay of games in a row, and then he just botched a pass, and I was like, this man is
Yeah, like
shook.
that 3 and out. He was walking off the field. He's probably like, "Yep, this is
This is
just
it.
gonna happen again."
You could see in his eyes, it was like, this
It's
is
not
not the
normal.
Drew Brees I
No.
remember.
And I think the commentators even said something like that, like, "Where's Drew Brees?" And then after that, they turned it on.
Yeah, he
Oh,
came
yeah.
back.
turned it on.
And then greatness prevails, and he did what Drew Brees
Then he just
does.
started off, just dinking it to Michael Thomas. Then they started spreading it a little more,
Yeah.
and then Michael Thomas went for 171 yards.
It's no big deal.
Then they let Taysom Hill launch.
Oh my gosh. If Taysom Hill, if they make it to the Super Bowl and Taysom Hill doesn't have a touchdown, I'm going to be so infuriated.
He's going to throw one over Marcus Peters next game. Touchdown.
I'd love that.
I want him to throw it over
or keep to lead. Whoever.
the
I don't
Chiefs'
care.
I mean-
defense, which would be way less
That'd be
impressive.
easy.
Listen,
Like, saying
if-
the
Devin
Chiefs are making
McCourty,
it.
that's who you want to see.
If Nick Foles can get away with the Philly special,
That's who's gonna be there.
Taysom Hill's gonna have
I
something
think
up
Drew
his
Brees
sleeve.
needs to get like a Philly special, like a little 50-yard like reception or something.
I could.
Drew Brees'
Taysom
career would be
Hill-
ended.
Every single defensive back eyes would light up as soon as they saw Breeze catch the ball.
You run that in the Super Bowl against the Patriots, and Devin McCourty comes out and just ends Drew Brees' career right
Last-
there.
no.
Could you
Last play of
imagine
the game.
Imagine a stiff arm by Drew Brees though. Oh,
Good
dude.
luck.
Maybe
2
Hurdle-
seconds left on
Hurdle
the
was
clock.
guy.
You're down by 6.
He threw it to Michael Thomas.
Taysom Hill to Drew Brees.
Oh, baby.
Flea flicker.
End zone, baby. But I think overall this week was a boring week to watch, except for this Sunday night game. And
I mean, the Eagles' defense looked great. I think the Saints' defense looked surprisingly good.
I mean, they've
They
looked
have
great
a
all
good
season.
defense,
Sneaky
but they
good defense.
all season.
They've pretty much looked ever since the.
Fitzmagic,
I would say ever since week
Well,
5.
it's hard to
they've
look
turned it
good
on.
against Fitzmagic.
Fitzmagic,
Okay.
and the Browns with Tyrod throwing.
I think ever since week 5 they turned it on.
Okay,
I mean,
I'd agree
that's
with that.
fair.
arguably they've had one of the better defenses in the NFL.
Well, I mean,
this
I feel
season.
like a lot of people forget that last year they started out 0-4.
Yeah, they had one of the worst.
That's
defenses.
true.
Yeah.
and,
That's
they,
true.
and they still made
And
it
Drew
almost
Brees
to the
did,
NFC
yeah.
Championship.
Yeah.
Ripped off like 9 straight wins or something.
So who have they lost against this year? It was the Buccaneers.
Buccaneers.
You're saying them out of order. It's screwing me up.
I'm sorry.
Buccaneers, and then the Cowboys, and then the
The
Panthers.
Panthers,
But
but
the
that was,
Panthers
they
doesn't-
gave that one.
Well,
away.
listen, I don't know if you guys saw this graphic, but the year they won the Super Bowl,
Oh,
Same
yeah.
losses.
the
Oh, yeah.
exact same losses.
Exact same record.
It's crazy.
It's I don't know. I mean, the only thing they
Marquise
didn't
Colston,
have.
Michael Thomas, you know.
Should we do some updated predictions for what happens next? Because I want to take a second to brag. Okay, we made our predictions last week, and I was the only one who had 3 out of these 4.
Not perfect though. I mean,
Yeah.
Congratulations!
Better than what?
You chose 2 1 seeds and a 2
Hey,
seed.
listen.
We
It
all
got-
went big.
I'm pretty
okay?
sure-
Results, okay, results.
I'm pretty sure all my dogs are still in the hunt from the beginning.
Okay.
Patriots are still
I meant my
Listen,
prediction.
all of our Super Bowl pick is still playing. So
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway,
I was talking about
should
my
we-
prediction for next year.
So we already know
Ravens.
what's going to happen on the NFC. Then we all agree that the Saints are still going to win. I think.
So
I don't think the Rams can stop Drew Brees
No.
or Michael Thomas.
Plus, the
I
Saints
think
have
it's a
never
lot
lost
less. I
a
think it's a
home
lot
game.
less guaranteed than you guys think.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be a good game.
Well,
I think C.J. Anderson will make a difference. I don't know if it'll be enough to propel them to a
I'm
win.
talking about that defense.
here's the thing.
You let those guys get confident. I mean,
I don't think they will, though. I don't
Well,
think they can.
I mean, we were just talking about how slow Drew Brees started. I mean, you let those guys get confident, that could be a real problem.
The Saints defense has been playing really, really good down the stretch. And on the flip side, Jared Goff is not. So I think if the Saints can stop the run, I don't think Jared Goff can carry this team. He's thrown for 50% or 58% in the last 6 games. And in the last 6 games, he's thrown 6 touchdowns and 6 picks.
My money's always on the better quarterback, and the better quarterback in this case is Drew Brees. Easily.
And Taysom Hill.
Yeah, definitely.
And Taysom Hill.
I mean, you put Taysom Hill in the Rams. I mean, they probably go to the Super Bowl.
Oh, my
right?
goodness.
We're not undefeated.
He'd be catching his own passes.
I'm not gonna lie, like I think it's really, really cool the way they utilize him on the Saints.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
So
I love
good.
watching
Like,
it.
didn't he play every single position besides lineman?
Basically. I mean, like,
Pretty much.
you can do.
I saw him
so
blocking
much.
a lot.
Dude, a kick returner. Like, come on. What can he do?
He can
MVP, Super Bowl MVP.
Not to mention he's like
love
6'7".
Honestly,
too.
like,
he's a big fella.
What if he throws? He like throws for a touchdown, catches for a touchdown, and kick returns for a touchdown.
And
MVP.
rushes.
I would
MVP.
die.
Tyreek
I would
Hill
love
already did
that.
Not in the Super
But not in
Bowl.
the Super Bowl.
No, yeah.
So I think if the Saints can stop the Rams' run, they are
Which
not,
is what they do.
Locked
Yeah,
down.
I don't think the Rams can win that game. Jared Goff's going to have a lot on his shoulders, and the last time he's had a 4-touchdown game or even a multiple touchdown game was against the San Francisco 49ers.
And
Hey,
here,
Richard Sherman. He's a good cornerback.
But it's the Niners.
the thing is, Drew Brees can come out as shaky as he wants to in the first quarter, and I still don't think any team can hang with them after that. They have an extremely explosive offense. Not as explosive as the Chiefs, obviously, but I don't think that anyone can hang. It doesn't matter who Drew Brees is throwing it to at this point.
Yeah, I think it gets overlooked, their offense, too, just because it's not exciting.
Yeah.
It's,
They're not
and
dropping 60 points every game.
Yeah, like, hey, we're just going to methodically march this down
Yeah.
the field. We're gonna end up with 7 or 3 of it.
And then you got Marshawn Lattimore on the other side getting 2 picks a game, so whatever.
Plus, you're forgetting that the Saints have never lost a playoff game at home
I was
with
about to say,
Breeze
that's
and
not
Trevor. So,
They've never ever lost a playoff.
with Breeze
Lost one
and Payton.
pretty dramatically.
I think this one's going to be, honestly, the more boring game for once. Like, I think the AFC is going to have the more interesting game this
I think
this
they're
coming
all.
week.
I think they're
I think-
both-
I think they're both
they're both
interesting.
set to be.
Well,
Don't
I
get
think
me
there's
wrong.
definitely more implications on the AFC side.
I do too.
Because everybody's even said like, the Patriots are down this year. If they get beat
should
by
have
Patrick
every
Mahomes
year.
and that young team, I mean,
But
is that the start of the decline?
if New England wins, is that just the end for that entire conference? Like, there's no point in even playing anymore.
I mean,
because
yeah,
the Patriots are just gonna win.
Yeah,
every
not
year.
even, that would
gone
even
to-
show that. Like, it's like, yeah, you could have the MVP on your team and look,
Tom Brady will
look better
still-
than anybody, and guess what? You're gonna go up against Tom Brady in the AFC Championship,
And
and,
it's just
he's
not
gonna
gonna
do what
happen.
he does.
8 straight AFC Championship appearances,
It's just
which is
It's
unreal.
insane.
garbage.
So here's a fun stat. I was looking up stats for these games. The Patriots this year, they were undefeated at home, but they were 3-5 on the road.
Yeah, but this is playoffs.
But
It's
on the
different.
flip
Miami
side,
Miracle.
the Chiefs were 7-1 at home.
Not one loss.
I think that's crazy. That the odds are still on. Where are who's predicted to win this game?
The Chiefs are actually the favorite.
I would not
can
be
see it.
surprised.
I
I think it's
honestly
the,
think
I think
they'll
the first
take it.
time Tom
Arrowhead is
Brady's
a
been,
hard place to
It
play.
is.
So if you're a gambling man, bet the house on the Patriots.
It's the first time Tom Brady's been an underdog.
We
in,
can't
like,
actually give that
a
information,
long
but
time.
I'm winking right now.
Here's the thing. I don't think Brady loses this game.
Oh no,
I
you can't bet against Brady.
Listen,
I think he loses another one.
quite honestly, I wouldn't be shocked either way. If Kansas City wins by 20, I'll be like, yeah. If the Patriots win by 20, I'm like, okay. If it's a close win by either team, I'm like, yep, saw that coming.
Yeah.
Because you can see every outcome in this game because
It's a
it's
fair
against
point.
the Patriots.
It's a cop out, but it's a fair
But
point.
I mean, he's not facing.
I mean,
call
call it what you will, but
he's not facing the greatness of Eli Manning or Joe Flacco. So I think he's
You're not
Oh,
allowed
yeah.
to make Eli
He's
Manning
lucky.
jokes.
He's lucky.
So-
He's lucky.
who's the last man to stop him before the Super Bowl?
Joe Flacco, Peyton Manning.
I was gonna
actually.
say it's probably
Yeah.
Peyton.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Peyton
right.
and Joe,
Who's the last man to stop him in the Super
Nick
Bowl?
Foles.
The
What
GOAT.
about, what about before that? Twice.
Eli.
The
Get
two
it.
quarterbacks.
better
Plaxico
Manning.
Burress and
Should have been Matt Ryan, but
and Pete Carroll.
he
Pete
took a
Carroll.
sack like an idiot.
Actually, it was Pete Carroll.
No, he took a nap.
So
Whole team
Just don't. You guys
Yeah.
are forgetting that Pete Carroll stopped the Seahawks from winning that game.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't
That's
run the
true.
ball.
Yeah, I don't know how you don't just run one HB dive there.
I don't either. You have the best running back in the NFL.
Who's literally known for running people over on
Yeah.
a regular
Yeah.
basis. That's old news, though.
It's
right?
1 yard.
yeah.
But we can still be angry about it.
Freaking Pete Carroll.
All right, can we talk about for a second how awesome it will be if both the Saints and the Patriots make it to the Super Bowl? That we're gonna watch a game of two future Hall of Famers.
I did think
That's-
about that.
that's
No,
very true.
honestly, like if the Saints and Patriots make it,
We
that
watched
would be
one last year with Nick Foles and
no,
Tom
on
Brady,
like
Hall of Famer.
Two future Hall of
me
Famers.
dead serious.
I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
couldn't even not laugh at that.
I think this would probably be a Super Bowl with some of the most stacked, electrifying offenses in history.
Maybe just skip
Maybe
the
not
halftime.
electrifying because
I don't know.
I don't think, like me personally, I don't think the Saints nor the Patriots offenses are
Alvin
flashy
Kamara.
and fun to watch.
Well,
I agree with
Michael
you.
Thomas?
Taysom Hill.
I agree with
The
you.
most fun
But,
player to
like,
watch.
What I'm talking about is you've got the Chiefs who have one
Nobody.
of the most fun rosters to watch, in my opinion.
Fair.
And take that back, you have two teams who are, I would say, old school, march the ball down the field, get it done, two good defenses. I think especially the Saints, but I think the Patriots are up there as well as two of the most complete teams. I think if they both make it, it will be a really, really good old school football game.
Both of those teams on both sides of the ball have nothing but just consummate professionals.
You are
these
right.
guys,
They're stacked.
multiple people on each side of the ball. They've been here before. They
They
know what this pressure is. They know that you just got to strap your helmet up and lock in, and so that's what's going to make it exciting. Because you take a lot more risks in the Super Bowl. You know?
yeah.
Philadelphia never ran Philly special, and that moment right there.
Can I just say that the only team that I don't want to see in the Super Bowl is the Rams, which is weird because I don't want the Patriots to be there. But honestly, the Saints versus the Patriots would be so fun to watch.
That's
I think.
the only game I want to see.
And I just don't want to see the Rams in there because, quite honestly, I know they'll blow it.
At least the Cowboys didn't.
And now they're gonna win the Super Bowl because I said that. But
And honestly, I agree with you. Like, if the Rams make it, they lose. If the Chiefs make it, they lose.
I think you're right. The
only way we get a good competitive game, I think, is if it's Saints Patriots.
Wait, so what if it's Rams Chiefs? Who loses?
they both lose.
It's gonna go into 7
a tie in the
overtime.
Super Bowl. Could you imagine?
4 overtime.
There's no way. There's no way
They
they
could
allow
let that
that.
happen.
What happened if, honestly, what if it went to 4 a.m., you're in 9 overtimes, and they're just coin flip it.
Well,
just end it.
That's what I hate about the
Regular
NFL.
season.
No, not even the NFL. I hate how they do their overtime.
Do college.
I understand that you're trying to do it to save time, kind of, because if you only do it once, you're not gonna go into what do we have this year, 12 overtimes.
You didn't
with
enjoy
LSU
that
and A&M.
7 overtime game between LSU and Texas A&M.
That's
It-
kind of
Have you ever
exciting.
watched a game with that many overtimes? Though?
It's crazy.
Oh no, it's incredibly fun to watch, but when you're the NFL,
Sometimes.
Yeah.
oh yeah, no,
You're also putting the
When everyone's
players at
getting,
risk
dead.
unnecessarily.
That'll be all right.
You ever watch a baseball game going to 18
Oh my
innings?
god!
I did.
You're
And
just sitting there begging on somebody to put it in somebody's wheelhouse so we can get out.
That's what it felt like when the Indians played the Cubs. I was like, this game's never gonna end, but it was just a rain delay.
I watched a Reds game that went to 18 overtimes.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
just begging that somebody would just soft toss
Wasn't
one to
that-
Joey Votto.
Wasn't that a game that they almost broke the home run record because everyone just kept hitting dingers? Good game.
So, I kind of want to go around the table real fast so they'll know who is everybody's Super Bowl predictions. Mine is gonna be, I think it's gonna be Patriots Saints. Who wants to?
Mine as well.
Mine also.
I'm gonna go with my original pick and say Saints Chiefs. I honestly think the Chiefs could knock off the Patriots.
I can't.
That's
I also,
Tom Brady.
I also think the Chiefs can knock off the Patriots. And I know it's the dumb bet to ever bet against the Patriots, but I have to. I want to say Saints
Honestly,
and Chiefs.
it's like this. It's like Tom Brady's LeBron. LeBron always makes it to the championship. Tom Brady always makes it to the championship. Every year, it's their down year, and they somehow find a way to pull it up and make it to the championship.
Oh, LeBron took the worst roster ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2007 Cavs.
I think.
Wait, what?
That team was terrible.
I feel
Oh,
like
you're right, but that wasn't what I was talking about.
I
was
feel like the
surprised.
Talking
difference
about George Hill
between
being a second best player.
LeBron and Tom Brady is
Kevin Love.
He didn't play.
I don't know. I think there's a difference between LeBron and Tom Brady because LeBron, I don't know. For me, I don't know basketball, but I feel like
I don't know basketball, but I'm gonna put my opinion in anyway.
I don't know. Like
Skip.
yeah,
Skip.
I'm gonna edit that out. Never mind.
What's the difference?
I was
want
gonna
to know now.
I was gonna say is like I don't know if you can 100% of the time, like you can't 100% of the time rely on Tom Brady either. But
It's a whole lot
You can't
harder to take
LeBron.
over a game in football.
exactly
Because you got to rely on other people. In basketball, LeBron could just take it up the floor himself every time and bully everyone on the
But
court
LeBron
down
does
to
Yeah,
the paint.
it's a lot more of a team sport in football than it is in basketball.
I don't know, but I feel like you can like Tom Brady. You know exactly. Maybe you do with LeBron, and I don't know, but I know you know
He's choked a
exactly
couple
what you're
times.
gonna get with Brady. You're gonna get a pretty good game every time. He's gonna play efficiently. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just
I mean that's fair. It's hard. It's hard for me to like. I think my bias is playing into this because I hate the Patriots, but
Oh, I hate them too, but
I
gotta give
I
respect
know
where
in my
respect's due.
I think it's my head playing against my heart right now. My head saying the Patriots are gonna win the Super Bowl.
No.
My heart's like they're gonna lose the Chiefs. You gotta believe, and it's not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
But you know,
I really want like I think we're all in consensus here. We want Breeze to get another one.
Yeah.
I think for me, like,
especially since he's not even gonna get MVP.
I know.
I can't wait for this post Super Bowl podcast
Oh, yeah.
where it just starts out with all of us like
Crying.
Dang it!
Oh, we really blew that one.
We're gonna take a week off.
really
We agree.
throwing
The podcast-
it in today.
Our podcast is just an hour-long moment of silence.
The
Anybody
podcast
wanna say
just
anything?
abruptly ends. We can't take it anymore. We stop watching sports entirely.
It's like 30 seconds. Somebody finally talks. It's just Tom Brady.
he did it again.
And then-
Did it again, boys.
The only good thing about Tom Brady winning another Super Bowl is now the Steelers have nothing to talk about because
Yeah, that's
one
true.
man has the same amount of Super Bowls as
Yeah.
that franchise.
Which I mean, he's still better than that whole franchise anyway.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the MVP race for a second? I know it's not.
It's not even a thing.
In our
It's
nose.
Patrick
It's
Mahomes.
Patrick
It's
Mahomes.
and it's kind of sad to me. You have a quarterback who has one good season. Yeah, I guess the MVP is based
Yeah,
on
but he
that
came out
season.
of nowhere and he had
He did,
50 touchdowns.
but Breeze
Honestly, if
had
it was-
one of the best quarterback seasons of all time too.
If it was
He had
just
a-
if it was just like whoever was the best at that time, I mean, Tom Brady would have every MVP and LeBron would have every NBA
Well, I
MVP.
mean-
Like it's
Like Matt Ryan had one good year and he won it. Cam Newton had one good year and he won it. That's
what
what
it
it
takes.
is.
It is.
You need one good year.
But like it's who's the most flashiest, who does the who has the best stats, and like for me that's kind of sad because Breeze just set a bunch of records this season. Breeze just set the record for completion percentage, which is amazing.
I will say this
you're a
though.
big completion percentage guy.
I mean,
Listen, listen.
It's consistency. I'll take consistency
but-
any day.
But the MVP curse though.
Yeah. Do we want
They
Breeze to
they
get it?
don't win Super Bowls.
Fair, you're right. I don't know. It's just sad to me.
This year they're not going to win AFC championships.
Ooh.
Which I think the only reason the Chiefs win
probably right, though.
Unless
is
they give it
if
to Brady.
their defense actually does
Their
something.
defense needs to step up.
They
Flip
did
the
against
script on
Colts.
everyone, and the MVP is
You guessed it.
Tom Brady. Everyone's
What?
like, huh, wait, what?
He's not even invited or something.
He's not even-
He's like, what?
Tom Brady's watching it at home. No, he's not watching it at
Wait,
home.
so-
he doesn't care.
Who are the other candidates? Because I know
I'm pretty
Breeze
sure-
and Mahomes.
I'm pretty sure Aaron Donald was like top
I think
5.
Aaron Donald.
Is he?
Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack, he deserves.
Todd
like, to be
Gurley
up
might
there.
be in it, but I don't
No.
know.
Zeke deserves it more than Gurley. Well,
Chris
I don't
Boswell.
know.
LVP, least valuable player right there.
No, if we're talking
he
about
turned it on
LVPs,
towards the
we're
end.
talking about.
Philip
Goodness.
Rivers, but he kind of slacked off toward the end too.
Yeah, I mean,
Granted, so did Breeze, kind of.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think he was just ready for it to be the postseason, though.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. He's like, all right, I'm done with this regular season stuff.
That's why he sat out against the Panthers. He knew that
Hey, you had,
one
you had
year
to
they
see
won
what
the
Teddy
Super Bowl.
Bridgewater had, which wasn't very impressive. That's all right.
Yeah, Teddy B doesn't look.
He also hasn't
he
played
didn't look
football
good.
in like 4
No,
years.
you're right, but like,
I'm
I-
sorry, I'm never going to be impressed with a quarterback from Louisville. So
Oh! Shots fired.
oof.
Lamar Jackson's from Louisville,
Yeah,
in case you're not catching on to that.
But
boom.
You good there?
I mean, they're better than Michigan quarterbacks, but you know.
He had the big while on that
Chad
comeback.
Henne.
Tom Brady.
I mean, has Michigan?
Chad Henne.
I was joking, Troy.
Has Mr. Quarterback ever won a Heisman?
Jake Rudock?
I don't think. Oh, okay. Okay.
We should move on.
Who?
All right.
He just got signed to the Dolphins, actually. Have some respect.
Why? Oh, you? I mean, they have Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, I mean.
All right, so I feel like we've talked about that enough. Obviously, after the season ends, we got the draft, and before the draft happens, we have multiple mock drafts.
Yeah.
So we've got a few here in front of us. We've got the teams, we've got the order, and we're just gonna kind of throw out what we think these teams really need in order to become better. I won't say good because the Arizona Cardinals are the number 1 pick, and 1 pick isn't gonna save that franchise. So.
Well, I mean, you saw that they're going to draft Kyler Murray and trade Josh Rosen, you know? Because, you know, what's his name? Cliff Kingsbury loves Kyler Murray.
That would be the dumbest move in franchise history.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care how good Kyler Murray is as an NFL.
So.
No, listen. He could be a number 1 quarterback, but you just drafted a quarterback. It's like that entire last draft was pointless.
But think about this. You get a chance to work both these guys out. And guess what? Next year, you get to trade.
But what if
a top 10 pick?
But what if no one wants Josh Rosen?
I'm sure someone wants him.
Somebody's gonna take
the Jags. Might.
He's a top 10 pick. I mean,
well, according to a lot of drafts,
Alex Smith has been basic for the past 5 years, and he's still getting paid a lot of money just because he was a number 1 pick.
Broke.
Yeah, he might not have a leg. I think everything actually went fine with him. Good luck, Alex Smith. We wish you a speedy recovery.
I'm a big fan. I still think you're big.
Alex, you're a good dude. But
so the first pick of the draft is the Arizona Cardinals. A lot of people are saying that Nick Bosa is going to be the number 1 overall pick.
No reason why he shouldn't.
There's no reason why he shouldn't.
They're not the Browns. They're going to do some random pick.
In the few years he played at Ohio State, you could just see, even on plays where he didn't get the sack or the tackle, offensive linemen wanted nothing to do with him. And the Big Ten is known for offensive linemen.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, like.
And defense.
You can say that maybe they trade Josh Rosen and pick up Kyler Murray. I don't think that's a good idea at all.
No.
Like,
if you're going to do that.
The smart decision is.
Well, then either way, you get to trade Kyler Murray.
Listen, in my opinion, if you're going to go for Kyler Murray, trade down first, get something else, and get it. Because I don't think Kyler Murray's going to be a number 1 pick.
He'll be first round.
He'll be first round.
Easily. He'll be top 10.
Yeah, no, he's not falling. He's such a good athlete. I don't think he's falling outside of the top 15. But like, if you're gonna do that, don't use. That's kind of what I thought with the Browns. But then later on, I heard Baker Mayfield. There were a lot of people looking at Baker Mayfield as number 1 overall. But like, if you really want him, trade down.
Yeah.
Get him. Get maybe some more draft capital for next year because the Cardinals are just gonna blow it up this year. There's no one safe on that roster right now, I don't think, except for Larry Fitzgerald.
I think
David Johnson. He needs like another chance because like that offensive line is not good.
Their offensive line is probably
their offense was terrible.
Absolute.
Christian Kirk is not a bad wide receiver. Give him some more reps and stuff.
There are not very many people safe on that roster, I'd say.
No.
Because that's why I think the Arizona Cardinals should just go with who's the top talent. Because everyone else's job is at risk right now. So I honestly say take Nick Bosa. If your brand new head coach says to get Kyler Murray, then you get Kyler Murray because you want the coach and the quarterback to have a thing together. You want them to be able to interact.
Synergize.
That's a good word. So that's something that's really important. And when no one else on that roster is probably going to be there in the next 2 years, it's probably the best move to just get the top talent in the draft.
And I mean, here's the thing.
We don't know what Josh Rosen's going to do either.
We've only seen him 1 year with a bat.
Jared Goff looked awful his first year.
He did. Trubisky didn't look that good either.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The Cardinals had the 20th ranked defense in the NFL, and I think that
it's not bad.
I mean that's pretty.
It's pretty bad.
That's average.
Only 32.
It's like it's.
I mean, they weren't worse.
It's a little bit below average, and I think Bosa, being the wrecking force that he is, I think he could put that defense top 15, maybe top 10. I mean,
who else they get.
Yeah, it depends on their pieces, but
I think maybe your bias is showing.
No, I mean,
he's good.
He's one of the
Look
best
at his brother
talents.
I mean,
I'd probably run both of them over.
Everyone says Everyone says that Nick is better than Joey.
I mean,
And have you watched Joey play?
Yeah, he's not that good.
Oh my gosh, Troy.
gosh.
Your bias is showing.
Hasn't he played like 4 games in his career? So?
And he has the most sacks in
if
4
Joey
games.
went to New York, you would love him.
That is true. If
I
Nick
would-
went to New York, you'd love
Because
him.
we almost
absolutely.
Ravens almost got Joey Bosa. We almost did. And we
You would
almost
like
got
him more if he would have pulled the Eli Manning. He almost did. Get drafted and then not signed and then not signed and then not signed.
Yeah,
He was very close.
We definitely would have signed him.
Moving on to the Niners. I mean, a lot of people were predicting Quinnen Williams,
It's pretty good.
He had a good year.
defensive interior lineman, I think.
Yes.
I mean, he had a good year. I mean, they could add. It's adding pieces to their defense. I think they were a quarterback. I don't know. Nick Mullins played pretty well this year.
They don't need a quarterback.
They don't.
They
They
don't
don't.
need-
They,
They need to see what Jimmy G does.
they signed
They do.
Jimmy G to a massive.
Well, I
will
wasn't.
not
if you
I
need a
wasn't
quarterback.
saying that they need to take a quarterback in the draft, but what I was saying is maybe the reason they lost so many games was their quarterback play.
Yeah.
But like,
I'd
I don't
say.
know. Nick Mullins
defense
played
was-
pretty
I'd
well.
say a running back, but I don't think there's a
I guess it was
really
Jerick
clear
McKinnon.
first
Yeah.
round running back this year.
A couple of them have the Alabama running backs, but I'm still like, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, Alabama running backs are so hit or miss in this league.
Yeah.
Trent
Oh.
Richardson,
Well, Karan Higdon. I mean, he's probably one of the best ones.
Well, okay.
maybe
Come on.
like
Mike
7.
Weber. Mike Weber's going in the 6th round.
Isn't he 5'7"?
He's fast though.
He is real fast.
But quite honestly, I don't really know. I thought the 49ers had a shot this year to be a playoff team.
But
I-
Well, I think they did.
We all
without-
did,
I mean,
yeah.
with Jimmy G.
Yeah. So I don't really see. I guess adding a defensive piece is probably the best choice here because you got a pretty good offense. Maybe another wide receiver,
I wouldn't
Yeah.
draft a wide receiver.
but you would. Yeah,
second
no,
overall,
not you wouldn't want
yeah.
to do it with the second pick.
This
So
was-
I
You
think
never know. They could pick up AB. That could be the trade that, I mean,
he
happens.
does.
Oh,
I've heard that he wants to go to
I
Stanford.
already have a theory about that later.
Okay.
But
Okay.
We'll get to it.
we can talk about that later.
All right, so again, just take the top talent that's
Yeah.
left, and then moving on to a dysfunctional team, the New York Jets.
Who we're looking up at the end of the season.
I mean, I think the clear pick here is an offensive lineman.
Oh, of course.
Sam-
Protect your brand new quarterback.
Sam Darnold was under duress the entire year, and even then, he was looking pretty good.
Is Adam Gase on crack?
I think
I was waiting for someone to bring that up.
if he got hired as a Jets coach, like,
Did you see the clip though?
yeah, no, yeah.
Did you see like the part where he had like a processing error? Like, like he was just sitting there in his head like turned sideways.
I have no idea like what possesses you to do
Well, I
that.
mean, wasn't one
Well,
of
he's-
the assistant
he's possessed.
coaches?
he
That's
had
the
to have
thing.
been possessed.
Felt like his
I don't
assistant
know. I've heard
coach
he's like
got
a real.
fired.
I've heard he's like a real shy guy, so he probably doesn't like being
Oh,
in
that
this
would
situation.
suck.
Especially in New York.
I mean, I couldn't do it. I hate talking in front of people.
Can we take a second to talk about this hire? Because a lot of people, like, it's a controversial hire.
I don't.
A lot of people don't like it.
He's
worse.
considered a quarterback whisperer.
He really is, though. Ryan Tannehill's numbers looked way up.
Well, yeah,
under
I mean,
Gase.
last year was the best year that Tannehill. I mean, it's the best he's ever looked.
Mhm.
And you know, before he started getting injuries this year, I think like week 4 they did like a way too early like who's in the MVP race
Like
right
top
now. And
5.
Tannehill was like number 4.
I mean, I'd argue, like, in my opinion, I think this is an amazing hire
I think
because
it's
you
good,
get the guy who's gonna hopefully, like, Darnold looked all right this year for his first year. I mean, it's rookie year. You're outside of, like, you know, your Baker Mayfields and stuff like that. I mean, this is an average year, I'd say, for a rookie quarterback. I mean, and I think Gase can come in and make him look real good. I think they're one of the weakest rosters right now, but I think adding this offensive lineman protects, you know, Darnold. Maybe get some pieces later on in the draft, skill position wise.
A way to try to bring it back on topic. So let's go ahead and move on to the next pick. I think that covered it pretty well. It's the Oakland Raiders, and it doesn't matter because they'll trade him.
Yeah, you're right. John Gruden's
was
playing. Hey, John Gruden's playing Madden here, guys. So
But there's a pretty obvious choice that you need someone on that defensive line. Because you had no one.
You need a edge rusher.
no
Well, the
one
thing is with
line
the Raiders,
pressure.
though, they have a little bit of wiggle room because they've got, what, 3 first-round picks?
they've got 2
Oh, yeah.
this year and 1 next year, or like 2 next year.
I
Like,
thought they
'cause-
had 3 this year.
no,
No,
they only
it's,
have 2.
yeah, they
They traded
made a trade
Cowboys?
for One of them was for next year.
One of them, like I think the Bears.
I don't think you're right.
I think the Bears one's for next year.
Look it up then.
I was looking at this earlier. I think they have one this year and then a couple next year.
I'm really looking for one of those good fullbacks. Just
They have to.
trying to bring the game back to 1988.
Oh no, you're right.
You know?
It's 3. You're
It's
correct.
3? Throw a
The
cowboy
searching.
collar on that guy.
So
the Raiders could have a good draft if
Yeah.
they actually.
I have an argument with this pick. I think because John Gruden's playing Madden, he doesn't go.
You're not gonna
a
tell me
smart
that he's
pick.
gonna trade the pick. Are
No.
you? Okay.
What he's gonna do? He's gonna draft Dwayne Haskins.
You're wrong.
I thought about it.
You're
I
wrong.
thought about it.
I'm
You're
not.
wrong.
Hear me out. Hear me out. John Gruden taking over this roster for 10 years, right? He blew up the roster this year. I think he gets his franchise guy here. Maybe uses Carr as a.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't.
As a bridge
He wasn't the one that
QB.
paid Derek Carr. So.
I mean, I think Derek Carr's out of
How
there in the next
stupid
few
would
years.
that be?
I don't know though.
Here, bringing it back to the number 1 pick, though, the most ideal situation for the Raiders would be the Cardinals taking Kyler Murray because somehow you end up with Nick Bosa right in your lap.
That's
after
true.
losing Khalil Mack.
Unless the
That's
Jets
true.
don't pick up there, so.
Who knows?
Do you think someone else would try to pick up Bosa just to like, LOL?
I think the Jets
Raiders
would
don't
probably.
get him.
I think the Jets would be the only one, but I mean, they
49ers.
need so much help.
49ers would take Nick Bosa.
I don't know.
I don't see a team that would pass on it,
Yeah.
but
Unless
I could.
you just.
I could see if.
I don't know.
I could see if Cliff comes in wanting to blow things up and create his own quarterback controversy. That could happen. He could fall a little further because everyone would be like,
Maybe
"Wait, what? We didn't expect this."
Maybe he'll just try to make a trade for Patrick Mahomes, you know?
Oh my goodness.
Just
So there's really no way
Josh
of like.
Rosen, first round pick for Patrick Mahomes.
There's.
Who wouldn't take that?
There's. You are.
Probably. Yeah, probably a good idea.
I'm pretty sure almost every NFL roster, except for maybe the Oakland Raiders, would turn that down.
Yeah.
So now we're on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they don't need anyone. They just need to keep Fitzmagic. Moving on.
They need,
Okay.
they're projected to pick DeAndre Baker from Georgia, who's a cornerback, which would be great because they need help in the secondary.
You're right.
Or on defense in general.
They need defense because
Every
we have
decent
seen their offense can be incredibly potent
Oh yeah.
with the right man in the backfield.
Not
With
Yeah.
the right man in the backfield.
Yeah, because I mean, they've taken a lot of cornerbacks. Like I feel like in the past couple of years, but they've either been not healthy or just not up to snuff. And you got to realize who. I mean, you're playing Michael Thomas and Julio Jones twice a year.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to have
You need
somebody that
somebody.
can cover.
But do you think if the Raiders don't go nuts and blow up the quarterback game, do you think they do?
So
Do you think the
Didn't
Bucs
he already
just like
say that
screw
Jameis
it?
Winston is their quarterback next year?
I
Well,
saw-
Bruce Arians already said that he loves Jameis, but we'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah, I think he's a hard guy to love.
Yeah.
One practice, he's out.
He's
Get
out.
this
Did he
guy out of
steal
town.
another crab?
This guy out of town.
Old Joga never gets old.
in our
Does Jameis wants to get a job
If he gets,
no, I don't think so. Maybe
He'll
he's a
go somewhere.
backup.
He'll go
Maybe he's a
somewhere.
backup, but
He
he's
gets
not.
a
If
job
Jackson-
as a salesman for Joe's Crab Shack.
if Jacksonville
I've
doesn't,
stolen
he's
so
got-
many.
he's got too much
I know
stuff on
how
his
good they
record.
taste.
if Jacksonville doesn't
So good
draft a
you steal.
quarterback, they would take Jameis in a heartbeat.
Jacksonville needs to draft something, a
So-
quarterback or Nick Foles.
I see the argument you were going with there, Matt. I saw like in our paper that we have to plan the podcast. Matt was talking about his picks, and like I agree with you.
It'd be like just for the heck of it. Why not?
Well, like
Blow it
so I thought about it. So Jameis is on his 1 year, like his 5th year option, which is a 1 year try it deal, right? So you draft Kyler Murray. This is if you're thinking, as the GM, you draft Kyler Murray, which either lights a fire underneath Fitzmagic. Fitzmagic's not on the team next year.
Hold up.
No,
Hold
his
up.
contract's up.
Nah, you gotta resign him.
Yeah, you re-signed that guy.
Maybe.
Oh, wait a second.
thing about
wait
signing-
a second.
Is he
The
going back
wheels-
to the Jets?
The wheels are turning here. I think he's going to New York,
Oh,
but not the Jets.
Every team is signing with the Giants.
but so
Every team, every player.
So either Kyler Murray comes in, lights a fire under Jameis's butt, Jameis plays well, and you can deal Kyler Murray next year, or Jameis sucks and you have Kyler Murray just waiting the wings.
we have talked about this so many times. the getting a new younger guy in there to light a fire doesn't work.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's too much
Lamar
pressure by the
Jackson
fan
did go
base to put that guy in.
the playoffs.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson stole Joe Flacco's job.
So you take Kyler Murray, or you take Dwayne Haskins,
Joe Flacco was,
and then look, Jameis Winston
Yeah.
has another bad year, and you
he was dangling
you put
that
him in.
carrot
You
out
put him
there.
in.
Well,
You put him in.
listen, we talked about this with Nick Foles' situation when Nick Foles was with the Rams and they had Case Keenum, and Nick Foles is like, if I do anything bad, I lose my job. Or the J.T. Barrett, Cardell Jones situation. Or it doesn't work.
Plus, there's a lot of pressure to put the new guy in. You know?
Yeah, if you're drafting a quarterback, you're drafting a quarterback to play him.
Plus, if you draft Kyler Murray, he's not guaranteed to play in the NFL.
But
He's
Jameis
still playing the MLB.
He has another day.
He's
I think the
days.
A's have like another day to like give him an offer. Like,
Nah, but
he can
still go. He can still go in
I
baseball.
thought there was like a. There's like
They wanted to pay him enough contract
I think
for him
that's-
not to enter the draft.
I think he's going to have to show some commitment that he's committed to football before we even talk about him going top 10. Because, I mean, do you want to waste that if there's still a possible chance of him going?
But here's the thing. Here's the last thing I'll say on the topic, and then we should probably move on. Jameis, once you talk about like, lighting a fire doesn't work. Okay. But Jameis didn't have anyone there who was like realistically going to take his job. Like realistically, was Fitzmagic honestly going to take his starting job?
He wasn't.
Dude threw for 500 yards.
I know,
two
no.
games.
I'm just saying, like, they didn't take him out because they thought Fitzmagic was the future. They took him out because they had no other option. And it was like, screw it, throw Fitzmagic in, and look, it worked.
They
so,
also benched Fitzmagic mid-season.
Right, so, like, nothing was really working out there for a little bit. All I'm saying is, if he didn't have anything to make him want to play well, why not try something different?
Here's the thing, and he's also on a try-it deal. So...
Shouldn't even be on a try. Dude.
I think he's done.
I don't.
Because my thing is, what the Buccaneers proved to me last year is that they don't believe in Jameis. The fact that you go back to Ryan Fitzpatrick in the middle of these seasons shows me as a football fan that you don't believe in this guy.
I agree with you.
And like I think
it's okay why Jameis is suspended or if he's injured, but if you bench Jameis again and put the backup back in again, that shows that you don't believe him.
I agree.
I don't think it's okay that he's an idiot.
Well, no, I'm saying it's okay if another guy's playing he's suspended.
And I think the Buccaneers, like, they're not a bad team. I think they could be a
They're
good
quarterback
team.
away.
They have one of the better receiving cores in the league.
Oh, my
I mean,
goodness.
Mike Evans and Sean
Oh, my
Jackson.
gosh.
I mean, any quarterback would love to step in with those two weapons.
Nick Foles.
Dude, he would lead in the Super Bowl right there. Come on. Was it better defense, of course.
I had a thought. What if they let Nick Foles walk and he
think
goes to
he will.
Washington and just starts murdering the Eagles in the conference?
Oh my gosh.
I would say Nick Foles is gone. Like,
we know he's
not-
gone.
not-
That's the worst mistake they'll make.
not saying bias anyway. Like he doesn't have, like, he has an option on his contract to return, but they don't have any cap space. I think Foles is on another team next year.
That goes into my AB theory.
All right. Well, I think we're done with this topic. I think we're done with this topic. So let's dig into your AB theory.
Yeah, I want to hear your AB theory.
If you say he's going to the Giants, I'm kicking you off the podcast.
Oh, all right,
on.
everybody. It's time for the Troy Gantt corner. Please take it away.
Welcome. All right, hear me out. Don't kick me off the podcast.
Well,
Someone's going to the Giants, boys.
All right. The New York Giants.
I can't.
Are you being
No, I want to
serious?
listen to this.
I'm being serious.
I wanna listen.
This is all plausible, and you guys will see what I'm talking about.
Okay, go.
All right, everyone, shut up. No more talking.
All right, the New York Giants trade the first round pick, the number 6 pick, to the Pittsburgh Steelers for Antonio Brown.
Oh.
Okay.
You sign either Ryan Fitzpatrick or Nick Foles, 2 guys that can get you 3 or 4 years to your next guy. No, I'm not saying Eli's done. You sign those guys for backup in case Eli does, in fact, end it. But look, so now you have either Eli Manning,
Joe Flacco.
you have either Eli Manning, Nick Foles, Ryan Fitzpatrick, great quarterbacks,
Joe Flacco.
guys that can sling the ball, and you give them Odell Beckham Jr., Antonio Brown, and
2
Sterling
average wide
Shepard,
receivers.
plus Evan
My
Ingram to throw to.
Goodness.
And
You need an
I'll give
offensive
you this.
line.
No, I'll give you this. If you do
That's
that,
what the draft's for. Every pick after that one we trade is going to be an offensive line.
if you do that, it gets AB completely out of the conference, so you don't have to worry about playing him except once every 4 years
Yeah.
or the Super Bowl.
Sure, that's
I
not
think
gonna happen for Pittsburgh.
I think it would be one of the
Okay.
biggest stories of the offseason, but it's incredibly
not
plausible. But it's incredibly
not
plausible. And I would love to see that.
It's not. It's not
I'll give it
totally.
to you.
It's
I'll
not
give it to you.
totally like it could happen. It could, but
I would
we'll see.
absolutely
I can see it.
love.
Here's
Well,
the
because like
Eli
the
goes down.
because like
Nick Foles
Darvish
comes
is trying to
in.
recruit him, but the Steelers aren't going to trade in their division.
And
Like,
that's the
they'd
thing
be
is-
dumb.
No.
The Steelers will need immediate help because AB's gone. Like I'm just coming to terms with the fact that AB is gone.
Le'Veon Bell's gone.
So you need the draft
Lev
pick.
Bell go to New York
No,
too.
no, no.
Okay.
No, it's actually for the Steelers.
Okay.
Ooh.
But I was say like you need a draft pick because you don't have a good draft pick. You're not going to get anybody out of the draft if you don't trade up.
Is Nick Foles and the Steelers a possible option?
Oh, I would be I'd buy a Nick Foles jersey that day,
Until the-
literally that day.
Man, I would hate to have to hate Nick
who's,
Foles.
Who's the guy after
By
Ben
heart.
goes?
Mason Rudolph.
Joshua Dobbs.
I'm not gonna lie, that's a nutty deal, but I would love it.
Are you guys?
I'd love every second of it.
Until the Ravens defense. shuts
Because
him
my
down.
thing is, I don't think the Giants pay
Imagine
the money.
Nick Foles in black
Nick
and
Foles.
gold, boys.
I think they can definitely afford Ryan Fitzpatrick though.
You take like a
Oh yeah.
veterans.
Oh, yeah.
Especially you're not going to have to pay a first round rookie deal for somebody.
I
There's a chance that
really
Beast
love
first.
that theory. And now whenever the draft is going down, I'm going to be praying.
We have to watch
that
it.
happens.
We
I've
have
been
to watch
praying.
it together.
I've been praying ever
It's
since
like-
I
I
thought.
figured. I would just make the argument.
AB
like,
in that blue. Ooh.
what is it?
I might be a soft New York fan at that point.
Moving on, we're going to talk about our team's picks going into the off, or like what our teams need going into the off season. Not just the draft, but even in free agency. So, who wants to kick this off? Matt wants to kick this off.
All right, I got this. We need a secondary. The Steelers need a secondary. Joe Hayden, he's good, but he needs some help.
It's getting old.
Yeah, that's true. We also have to come to terms with the fact that Ryan Shazier is done. Like,
Sad.
he was done from the moment he got injured, I thought. I didn't think he'd ever step back on a football field. And while I'm super glad that he's making as much progress as he is, we have to move on. We need a middle linebacker. And then on top of that, long term, yeah, Ben's on the way out. So does Nick Foles come in or what? So, oh yeah, and we also need a new wide receiver because Antonio Brown is leaving, and we may need a new running back. I don't know. I think Connor's fine.
It is
Secondary is number one. Middle linebacker is probably number two, and then maybe a wide receiver.
That's like the second best roster in the league, and they all hate
Falling
each
apart.
other or something.
It's falling
Mike
apart.
It's just
Tomlin's
not
not a
working.
great coach.
He tries to be their friend.
Yeah.
Too
Mike
much,
Tomlin's-
I think.
You think?
Well,
I
they're all
look
the
at that
same
man.
age, so-
I look at that man and I say, this man would kill me.
No, he's
I'm
definitely a
terrified
player's
of
coach.
Mike Tomlin.
I'm terrified of Mike Tomlin.
I think Mike Tomlin is in the player personnel sense a Marvin Lewis light, in the sense that he's an enabler. He's enabled Antonio
better
Brown,
coach,
Big
but-
Ben. Oh yeah, he's a far better coach. Don't get me wrong, but he's
Yeah.
enabled Big Ben, Antonio Brown, and Lev Bell all to
That's
be
fair.
the way that
I
they
think-
are.
I
Just
think
like Marvin does with Pac-Man Jones and Vontez. Perfect.
just let Ben go.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
The era is over.
He's toxic to the locker room. I mean,
He genuinely
he's
is.
constantly throwing his teammates under the bus in public. Just
He's always the one
it's
pointing
been
the finger.
it's been a good run, man.
Yeah, he had a
Still
lot of
doesn't
passing
realize the
yards
three
this
fingers
year,
pointing
but,
back at him.
Just
He's
let
not a
him
good
because I'm telling you right now, you release
legally.
Big Ben,
It's all good.
you're
again.
saving a lot of money. Plus, he's done. Then
And
he's
yeah.
not going anywhere.
And you
Nobody's
keep
signing
Antonio Brown.
Ben
They
Roethlisberger.
extended it to a contract, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's
Yeah.
like, I want to keep
Yeah.
playing another few years. Please don't.
Even though
You're
every
not Tom
ruin this
Brady.
team a little bit
single
more.
off season he cries, "I'm gonna retire."
Well,
And then
every
3 weeks
game
later-
he throws 4 interceptions, which is a lot. It happens quite a few times.
See, that's the problem. He throws four interceptions, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, but I'm gonna pile 500 yards on top of that."
Yeah.
That's true.
Because they never run the ball
I mean,
as much.
I don't know. I think you're right. Who wants the
All right, Blaine. What do the Bengals need?
Bengals? You want to know
Yeah.
what they need?
Yeah.
Quarterback.
No,
Definitely.
no.
Definitely quarterback.
They need a linebacker. We had the absolute
Guys will
worst.
be fighting for that.
We had the worst defense in the NFL this season. I don't know if it was coaching or players, but we had the worst defense in the NFL. I watched the Chiefs game when the Bengals played the Chiefs. The Bengals defense, and Chris Collinsworth commented on it, they look like they don't know what they're doing out there. They look like they were running around with their chickens with their heads cut off.
Yeah,
So
I
I
mean, who's
think-
leading that team? I mean, who's leading that unit?
It was Vontez Perfect, even though he's an idiot. He's a good.
Why would you ever want that?
Nope. I mean,
Rip their heads off.
Here's your shiv. All right, we're the linebacker team.
So
Yo, Antonio Brown.
what else do the Bengals need? In addition to a linebacker, they need a good defensive coordinator to come in.
You need a tight end that stays healthy.
Oh yeah,
You guys had Hugh Jackson.
but
Moving on.
I think if the Bengals get a good defensive coordinator and some linebackers to liven up that linebacking core, that's the first thing that we need to address because we had the worst defense in the NFL, and you need to buff that. But in addition to that, I think as has been the past few years, you need to buff the O-line because 2 years ago you let go Whitworth, you let go Zeitler, you let go the stalwarts on that offensive line. And then you have the worst, in my opinion, offensive line in the NFL for 2 years. Then you pick up Billy Price in the draft, which was who I wanted the Bengals pick up last year. Good pick, solid pick. He played well this year. And we got the guy out of Buffalo. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But he played, I think we improved the offensive line. And, I mean, solid O-line. Lets Dalton relax in the pocket, gives him time to throw. And it makes Joe Mixon look all the more better. I mean, look what he did behind the line this year. Led the AFC, not just the AFC North, led the entire AFC in rushing with 1,000 yards. And I think he could play a lot better next year.
You know, the running back in the AFC had over 1,000 yards?
He had Mixon had 1,198 and led the AFC.
I wonder who was second.
Probably, I think Chubb was up. No.
Yeah, Chubb had over 1,000 yards, and then he got tackled for like a negative 5-yard loss at the end of the game, and then he lost that 1,000 yards.
Probably Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt really didn't have a lot of like rushing.
No, they
as
used him in the
much.
passing game a lot.
Yeah.
But overall, I think if we improve in those two areas, I think the Bengals would step up mightily next year. Especially if we hire Zach Taylor as our head coach.
I'll go last because my team's the most stacked.
Mine's the most obvious. I'll go last.
Oh,
Years
okay.
ago.
Let me go. So I think the number one, I don't know. There's a couple of things the Ravens need. I think they need to focus on their veterans on defense because a lot of them's up for contract. So they need to sign the second best middle linebacker in the league, C.J. Mosley, to an extension. And then they need to see if they want Eric Weddle back, which I think he should come back for one more year because he has one more year. And if he doesn't come back, then he's retiring. Give Terrell Suggs another contract because the dude's still balling.
Give Terrell Suggs a percentage of the team.
That's pretty much. Because they have a really good team, and they need to see if they need to go younger or stick with some of the veterans, and then they have to let go of some of the people. They have a really good secondary, so keep that intact, unless they want to get rid of Jimmy Smith, because Marlon Humphrey's a beast too. And then on the offensive side, they need a couple. They need an interior offensive lineman, and then they need to let go of Michael Crabtree. I'm sorry, but they just need to focus on getting better playmakers for Lamar Jackson, and they need to. Well, they want to keep Willie Snead. They have two great young tight ends that they can develop, and then I think they need to draft a running back and another wide receiver. So I think they're in good shape, but I mean, if they get a couple more players here and there, they can still retain the AFC North Division title. And they'll be.
It hurts.
Yeah, for you guys, but I mean, I still think they're the best team in the AFC North.
Browns got it locked up.
Browns are good, but
I think the Browns are the best team in the AFC.
They'll get the wild.
Speaking of the Browns, Noah, what do the Browns need?
I'm in a very, very new position where I have no idea. So honestly, like,
I didn't think we'd
we've got.
Oh, and trade Joe Flacco too.
We've got good cornerbacks. We got good defensive backs in general. Jabril Peppers is finally playing well. I mean, he's been doing a lot better. I'll give it to him. I hated him in Michigan, but now I have to like him in Cleveland, so I'll take it.
Great player. Yeah, he was only second in the Heisman vote.
Just because he played on both sides of the ball, kind of. But, I mean, our offensive line is good. We could probably use an improvement there. But honestly, I think whatever we pick, it would just be a solid backup right now.
I think
maybe get a better wide receiver, but honestly, a lot of those guys are coming to their own. Callaway was doing all right. Rashad Perriman was doing better than anyone ever expected. Jarvis Landry led the team in receiving, and I think we need to keep him because him and Baker together is just an electric group, and a nice tandem to have.
Maybe a second tight end.
Maybe a second tight end, but I mean, they didn't really use Njoku as much as I thought they would, which was surprising to me. But I mean, maybe another linebacker too. Could use another guy out there. Joe Schobert had a good year. Just maybe someone else to go alongside him. But I mean, other than that, wide receiver is probably the most needed position in my mind right now, and I don't even think that's a huge necessity. Which is again such a weird position for me to be in, and not saying immediately quarterback. That's always the go-to. It's maybe
quarterback,
quarterback, or maybe offensive line if you think you can get someone in free agency, which I don't think we could if we didn't have Baker Mayfield.
Baker has a sophomore slump, could happen.
I don't even care. It's a good roster. We have a good team and a good defense right now.
Should you get rid of Tyrod Taylor?
I mean, there's no reason to keep him. Maybe he doesn't want to be a backup. I'm sure. No. He'll probably end up going somewhere like maybe the Jags or.
The Jags.
Every time they see a quarterback, they're going to the Jags
because they don't have anybody.
No respect for Blake Bortles.
Blake Bortles is the absolute. He's Nathan Peterman when Nathan Peterman gets a chance.
He's gone. But I mean, maybe you sign a nice.
Yeah,
a nice backup quarterback.
The Raiders have Peterman, you idiot. You were talking about them taking a quarterback?
Peterman is actually the future franchise quarterback for the Raiders.
Okay.
So, you guys are talking
but I mean, like I said, I don't obviously draft the best talent that's there, please. And then, I don't know, I think we just get deeper, which I love. I'm very happy about this. All right, so, Troy.
Quite simple. After we trade that first round pick for Antonio Brown, rounds 2 through 7 offensive line. I don't care. I don't care how many guys you have to bring in until you get 5 that can hold a block for longer than 0.7 seconds. But yeah, just
Michael Jordan coming out.
I mean,
man.
hey, I like that a lot. Actually, I don't hate it. So,
He's a big boy.
Yeah, just get the offensive line right. I mean, it's atrocious. As a fan, as a coach, as players, I mean, you have to look at that and just think, how are these 5 guys professional football players? I mean, it took what, 3 years for us to get rid of Eric Flowers?
Ooh,
the worst player in the NFL ever? I don't know. Probably a retirement home. There's probably still old ladies running right by him under that. I don't know if you've ever heard me, but I hate Eric Flowers.
I have quickly learned.
If we don't do the most obvious smart thing of all time and trade
the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Does he start though?
Not a chance. Maybe that's why Blake Bortles is so bad. Yeah, he's made every other quarterback he's blocked for look terrible too.
Sounds like me talking about.
They don't have a great run game, so
just get the offensive line right. Eli's still got a few more in him. Just let him go out gracefully.
Like Peyton.
Don't let him go out with a career-ending injury.
Yeah, it would be horrible if Eli had to end his career not on his own terms. So just get it right.
Yeah.
And if we don't trade that first round pick like we should to get AB, Haskins or Kyler Murray, I don't really care.
Just get that backup quarterback.
So, Troy, I know you love Eli, but he's getting old. Realistically, how long do you think he's got?
I think he's got 2 years. I mean, he's 38. He gets to 40, rides out into the sunset.
40 is probably the new standard.
Probably one more ring.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right. I don't know.
Especially if we do the right thing.
Goes out on top at 40 and gets that ring.
Oh, I would love that.
What if both Manning brothers end their careers on Super Bowl wins?
Wouldn't
that be poetic?
Or have more.
Well, I'd say it would be great because then we would have definitive proof that Eli's better because he would have more rings then.
He's not wrong.
I mean, it only took Peyton his whole career to catch up to Eli, but that's none of my business.
All right.
But Eli did get benched by Geno Smith. But Peyton got benched by Brock Osweiler.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, that was terrible. I don't know what they were doing.
Also, let's not blame Eli for the idiotic decisions of Ben McAdoo.
McAdoo is an idiot, but that's old news.
All right. So we said we'd talk about the NBA last week, and now we're going to talk a little bit about the NBA.
Let's get it.
So, I mean, right now we got the standings in front of us. We got Toronto.
All right, wait a second. All right.
What
I just want to try something funny here.
Okay, you do it.
All right. Blaine and Matt, who do you think are the two best teams on East and West? Who do you think are
I
the number one?
already looked. So.
They also do not follow the NBA.
Yeah, I just want to see you guys.
Listen, I'm about to. All right.
It's the best sport.
All right, who do you think the number one seed on the East and the number one seed on the West is right now?
Honestly, if you ask me, I wouldn't be able to guess the West right
Matt,
now.
do you want to go?
I got this.
It's the Toronto Blue Jays.
Nope.
No, that wasn't it.
Baseball.
No,
That's baseball,
I
yeah.
know that.
They've been the number one
It's a
seed in a while.
joke.
Didn't seem like you did.
No, it's
Golden
the
Retrievers.
It's the Raptors. No one knows about that.
He played the idiot very well.
It's the Raptors
What?
and the Nugs.
And the Nugs.
Because you looked at it.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, 'cause I looked
Why
at-
wouldn't you let Blaine go first then?
Dang it.
He told me to go first.
All right. I'm going to say
All right, who were your guesses going to be?
I know the Cavs are sucking because they lost
They're the worst
LeBron.
team in the NBA.
Are they really the worst team in the
Until
NBA?
they get
I
to
was
Blaine.
genuinely going to say
Next year.
one of them was going to be the Golden State Warriors because they were stacked. Because
stacked.
they I've heard 4 of 5 players.
Well, 3.
3?
Yeah, one's still hurt.
Draymond's trash.
Yeah,
Oh,
Draymond's
talking-
absolute garbage.
I was talking about DeMarcus.
I want Draymond to get his ugly mug off my TV screen.
And then I was going to say I know 3 teams in the NBA.
Okay.
What division are the Lakers in?
The same one.
I figured.
Where in the country are they?
I figured that's how that
Pretty
works.
sure they're both in the same
That's why.
Well, okay, wait. Aren't the Indianapolis Colts in the AFC South or something?
Oh yeah, no, none
That's
of it.
football. This is basketball.
Yeah,
I know, but that
basketball at least slightly makes
Well, I
sense.
also don't like. Isn't New Orleans in the West?
I said
Yeah.
slightly.
No,
No,
New
they're
Orleans
south.
is the South.
No, I mean
No.
the
The
basketball.
Pelicans?
Aren't the Pelicans in the
Basketball.
West?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it's just
Okay,
It's
I
the
will
New
say
Orleans Anthony Davis.
The Golden State Warriors and the Boston Celtics.
Well, you're wrong.
You're wrong,
I
bro.
figured.
All right, Darren. So, tell us what do you
Tell
think?
us how it is.
What do you think the MVP? What do you think the MVP race is looking like? You know,
Like top
who's
3 or
rookie of
like-
the year? You know, just right now, who do you think is
David
locking up
Beckham
these
is the
awards?
NBA MVP.
All right, it's time for these two to shut up.
Oh, yeah, we talking
Men are
about,
talking.
It's our podcast now.
Whoa!
Let's see here. They came out with a mid-season prediction thing here, and I thought it was pretty accurate to me. It looks like they have Giannis
Accurate.
for MVP, and I mean it could be Giannis, it could be James Harden, but it's hard to
Could
give
be
it to
Dame
the
Lillard.
second person. It could be Anthony Davis, but he's never talked about, and I don't know why because he's over there putting up.
Because their team's not good.
This
Yeah.
team is garbage, I think.
I said it to you earlier before the podcast. If Damian Lillard was not in Portland, he would have won an MVP by now,
Yeah, he definitely would.
and he probably would win it this year too.
So I have a question.
And like rookie of the year, I mean,
It's Luka.
Lock.
Doncic.
yeah, but like DeAndre Ayton's not far behind. Him.
He's
Like,
doing well.
Colin
Like-
Sexton too.
Luka, it doesn't have it wrapped up.
You can't
But
leave your
he is
bias
the
at the
front
door
runner.
for anything.
I can't. I try so hard. If you saw the wheels in my mind,
The whole time you're like, how can I talk about the Cavs? How can I talk about the Cavs? Oh, Giants, Eli.
Eli, yeah.
Like,
I mean,
Luka-
Eli's probably sprays.
I
Like
have a
Luka
question.
doesn't have it wrapped up.
Hold
but,
on.
like,
Let's let the non-basketball boy ask a question.
So I have a question about the NBA. Is it a lot about who you play for? Like, in what brand you have?
To me, the NBA MVP is more of a popularity contest
Yeah.
than the NFL MVP is.
just like-
Really?
yeah.
I mean, James Harden and Russell Westbrook won because he averaged a triple-double, which is impressive.
Yeah.
But
Twice.
10 points a game, I mean, he was scoring more than 10 points a game. Let's be fair.
we take away in the NBA from like the most valuable player
Yeah.
because I mean clearly over the past 10 years
It's
that's
been
been LeBron
LeBron
James.
James.
I mean teams without LeBron when he's hurt.
It's
Or
LeBron
just-
James.
Excuse me. Who cares? He's a turncoat anyway. But but yeah, like so it's more of a popularity kind of like who are the guys that are real flashy and are making amazing plays right now? You know, that's
'Cause-
it.
Which is why James Harden is
Yeah.
right now the
Because he
favorite.
travels.
I don't think James Harden's playing that great right now.
It's
He just scores a lot.
Dude has like 19 straight games with 30-plus points.
I'm not going to go into this. I'll leave it right here.
I'm
but
not
James,
saying-
James
I'm
Harden
not
is one of the
saying
most
he's not.
overrated players in the NBA.
You guys are saying, like, the only reason I asked that question is because you guys are saying, like, for instance, you were talking about Anthony Davis and how he plays for Portland. I don't know what they are.
No, it's Damian Lillard.
Whoever. Like, you're saying Anthony Davis is going to get looked over because he plays for this team. and I'm just like wondering, like, is that
Well,
a big factor?
Well, that was a big question when it came to Russell Westbrook. Even though he was averaging a triple-double, the Thunder weren't very good.
Yeah.
They're like
So they were still like, I don't know if he should win it because his team's not very good.
And
So if you're in a small
probably
market, it's
lost
hard.
stats.
When you're in a small market, it's hard for you to get free agents. It's the same thing with the Browns.
Yeah.
You know, it's a small market. They haven't had much success. It's going to be hard to get guys in there.
just like the Reds.
That's
They
why
don't have
they're
the money.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis is supposed to go to the Lakers, which he said I'm pretty sure he said he doesn't want
Yeah,
to. He
said
doesn't like
hates,
LA,
He said he hates LA.
which I agree.
You go to Boston.
But-
it's the better choice.
Cleveland.
But everyone's saying Kawhi is gonna go to LA, but now the
Clippers.
Raptors are the top seed.
Kawhi and AD are going to Cleveland. I didn't tell you about this.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
You talked to him about it?
Yeah, I got him on the phone.
Well,
But,
everyone-
I mean-
let me check my sources.
But here's
No, about the Kawhi thing.
not Eli.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's confirmed. There you go.
But the Damian Lillard thing, it is Russell Westbrook is an easier brand to sell because he not only does he ball hog on the court and he pads in stats, but off the court he dresses flashy.
Yeah, he's dancing all the time,
he's
pregame,
talking to
you know,
everybody. Damian Lillard's he's gonna get the job done and he's gonna do it well, and he's not a brand that
You're
you
in the
can sell.
playoffs last
It's kind of like Drew Brees,
Yeah.
where he's not the big flashy guy who is going to throw for 600 yards a game. Damian Lillard's going to be the guy that comes in and probably drop a nice 20 to 30 point game very consistently and do well for Portland. But he's in Portland and he doesn't sell himself.
To me, Dame is just he's gonna be one of those guys that when he finally retires, we're gonna look back man, we really slipped on this guy.
Also, Russell Westbrook will never win an NBA championship.
No.
I don't. Not.
I think
not
he's
right now.
overrated because, first of all, when it comes to clutch situations, he can't shoot the ball very well, and he makes a lot of poor decisions. I don't think he's the best teammate, and he likes to pad his stats. That's just my take on it.
Yeah.
So, Kevin Durant left. Obviously, I don't think he should have went to the Warriors, but
Think he
I
comes
could
back.
kind of see where Kevin Durant left, but then I could kind of see where Kevin Durant could have stayed, but that's another topic for another time.
Snake.
Listen, I'm. Granted, during that time, I was a Golden State Warriors fan,
I liked him a lot less. after that.
but I could see where he's coming from. I just don't like Russell Westbrook a whole lot, to be honest.
He's a great athlete.
Oh, no.
Freak of an athlete.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sold on him.
Yeah, when that dude dunks, he's acting like the rim owes him money.
I wouldn't want to stand in front of him in any situation. We could be just walking down the street and be like, this guy's gonna jump over me and dunk it into the trash can behind me.
I'm scared at all times.
Yeah.
For six-man, they have Lou Williams.
Obviously.
6 man like Lou Will.
Yeah.
What
Who
is
else?
that?
Who else is the six? It's
There
the
is
first guy off the bench.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. I knew that one.
there is.
I figured, I thought that's what that meant, but I'm trying to educate.
Honestly, they should
Matthew,
just call
Matthew
it.
Dellavedova, anybody?
Coming off the. Oh, that's right. You got.
Yeah, the young bull.
You have a point guard.
Honestly, they should just call it the Lou Williams Award because he gets it all the time.
Put some respect on Jamal Crawford.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, okay, all right. No, he's got you.
Yeah, okay. And then defense player of the year, they have Paul George, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, he has looked good.
He is good.
defensively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert is always there. Please don't put Draymond anywhere in that conversation.
I mean,
Yeah.
Kawhi, but he's been hurt.
Kicking people in the balls isn't playing defense.
You're not
I knew
wrong.
about that reference.
You're not wrong.
So,
And coach of the year, they have Mike
Budenholzer.
Budenholzer from the Bucks. Which
they have
Say that one again.
Budenholzer?
Okay.
Budenholzer.
they have the
What?
second
What?
best.
Budweiser.
They have the second best record in the league. Giannis is on a tear, and the only team ahead of him is the Raptors, who are very susceptible in the playoffs.
Just wait till the Nuggets get Isaiah Thomas back and Michael Porter Jr. They're already the number 1 seed. I don't think they'll make it to the finals because I think they're a lack of experience. But-
Golden State's gonna make it to the
Yeah,
finals
yeah.
again, and
I
Maybe.
mean, what
I don't
about
think
Michael Malone, though? The Nuggets head coach.
He's.
I mean,
Yes,
who
sir.
who saw them leading the West right now?
That's
I thought they'd
good.
make the
That's very
playoffs,
good.
but I didn't think they'd be top 3.
Yeah.
I mean, no one did. Everyone coming in this year was like, it's Golden State, Oklahoma City, and Houston, and then everyone.
Houston
Right-
hasn't looked great.
Right now, the Bucks do look great, and Budenholzer looks great and everything. But I think if the Nuggets finish top 3 in the West,
No, that's
I think
Okay,
you
how
gotta
is
get
that's
this-
absolutely fair.
You get a healthy Chris Paul. Can they beat the Warriors this year? Which is hard because Chris Paul is injured 90%
Yeah,
of the year.
it's hard. It's
Wait,
hard
we
to
talking
say.
Rockets?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rockets.
Okay.
I think they can do it. They were very, very close last year against a very similar team. They don't
Andre
even they don't
Iguodala
have
was injured,
Zaza
too.
anymore. Who's their enforcer?
Jordan Bell.
Jordan Bell. DeMarcus
You're
Cousins.
right.
Yeah. I feel like we keep forgetting that Boogie Cousins is going to be on that team at one point.
At some point,
He literally doesn't have to
days.
come back to the playoffs. Like,
Yeah.
They
No.
don't need him.
I mean,
2 more
again,
days.
that's another guy that I understand why he signed with the Warriors to a
Yeah.
1-year deal. He's healing up.
Like, they know.
If he comes back and plays well, every team's gonna want him.
Yeah.
It was a smart move by the Warriors and by Boogie. He could get a ring just recouping.
Wanted to sign with the Lakers first. They told him no.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Pelicans offered him a huge
Same-
contract.
That's
Same
probably
deal.
all LeBron.
Same deal.
It's probably all LeBron. I wouldn't.
A lot of
would
people
not
want to
doubt
play
it.
with LeBron for some reason.
Freaking cheesy. Red.
They're not. They're
You
not.
say that every episode.
Probably.
They're not even in the playoffs right now.
So besides the
They're
Nuggets,
a game behind
In
the Jazz.
The fact that NBA talk is on right now and Matt's just on Twitter is
I got nothing to say.
At
much for
least I'm
wanting to
engaging
learn.
in the conversation.
I'm listening.
besides the Nuggets, any surprises this year?
The Indiana Pacers are doing really well, and they
I'm
did.
not surprised by that.
Well,
Yeah,
they did.
it's
Well, they did for a stretch there without Victor Oladipo,
They did.
Yeah.
and
True.
that like if they can play well with
Bogdanovich.
The Nets aren't looking bad either.
the Nets are the 7 seed right now with a losing record,
Well, yeah.
and they're above the Charlotte Hornets who have an even worse losing record. Which
Yeah, who's that guy for the Nets that's blocked like every
Jared
great
Allen.
player? Yeah, Jared Allen.
How-
LeBron,
oh,
Giannis,
yeah.
everybody.
how top heavy is the Eastern Conference right now? You got Toronto, Milwaukee, Indiana, the 76ers, and then Boston. And then Miami, Brooklyn, and Charlotte. What, like...
Yeah.
I don't even think the 76ers are a title favorite because I'm not sold on the 76ers. Jimmy Butler
Yeah.
is like toxic in like apparently every locker room. Ben Simmons can't shoot the ball. All they have is Embiid, and I'm not even sold on Embiid. They have JJ Redick. I
I
can't
mean,
about Redick.
out of all
but
of these, I think Boston has easily the best roster.
Boston has the best roster in the NBA. They just apparently
Yeah.
can't put it
and
together. I don't know what's
Milwaukee is like 3 solid players and then a couple support. And then...
wrong. They got Brooklyn.
I'm sure it surprised some people. Season ends today. The Lakers are not in the playoff.
That's because LeBron.
A lot of people thought they'd be an easy 8 seed, which they're not out of
People
yet.
think
They're only a
that
game behind
LeBron,
the Jazz.
They think the Lakers can make the finals, and I don't know how they could get past the second round.
LeBron left the city where he's the king to go play with AAU players. Our young core is better than yours.
Brandon Ingram's not
the
good.
Lakers.
Lonzo Ball can't shoot the ball either. They have Kyle Kuzma, who's good. I'll give him that.
But I mean, you go from Eastern to Western, and then it's Denver, Golden State, Oklahoma City, Houston, Portland, the Clippers, which is another pretty big surprise, and then the Spurs, who are turning it on now.
But
Who
They're-
do the Clippers have now?
yes,
Harkless
Tobias
guy.
Harris.
Tobias Harris,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I know
Avery Bradley.
CP3, Blake, or DeAndre are not there anymore.
Nope.
So I'm like,
They're
who is
all-
scoring
They have
points
that-
for them?
they're all on very different
They have
teams.
that Montrezl Harrell guy who apparently is doing good. Nobody. Yeah.
I know he has dreads.
Yeah, he does.
That's all I know about.
But I mean, and your 8 seed in the Western Conference is the Utah Jazz.
They're like 12 teams deep right now.
That's a
Utah's a very good team too.
yeah.
They just started
Donovan
out
Mitchell
slow.
is
I'm a big Rudy Gobert guy too.
Donovan
Rudy
Mitchell-
Gobert is a great defensive player.
Should have won Rookie of the Year last year.
Donovan Mitchell is like a young, even though I don't like him, Russell Westbrook,
Yeah,
who
Shoot the ball better.
But he has
he's
a
a good
lot.
combo guard. I mean,
Yeah.
he can run either spot.
Yeah, but I mean he has more time to work on his jumper and his 3-point shot.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I mean,
It's not already a project like it is with Ben Simmons. You know,
remember when Memphis was?
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, they're gone. They're second to last behind Phoenix.
how long do we think that was gonna last though?
Oh no! when your core is like 50 years old, it's hard to keep that going.
Yeah, if we're still out here building around Marc Gasol, I mean,
And when they,
At some point,
maybe
you
the
gotta call
whole
that.
maybe the whole front
and then when
office
they
needs fired.
overspent money on Mike Conley, like
But I mean, and then you got the Dallas Mavs who aren't like out of it at all. I mean, the Phoenix Suns, I think
Dirk's
they're
last
done.
ride, boys.
But
But they
how many?
probably
What
won't
is
make
what
the
is
playoffs.
Dirk like 2 points a game right now?
Yeah,
Hey.
He's
He-
done.
Every time
turned it.
I average in basketball.
Every time I turn the TV on and it's a Mavericks game, Dirk still has a shooting shirt on. So I'm like, that's not good.
It's sad. It's sad. But I mean, Miami with D Wade's last year can make it to the playoffs.
maybe win a game.
That's a team. I'll say that's a team that can steal a game. I mean, they're not going to go probably past the first round.
No.
But they can definitely steal a
They've had
game.
the same team
They
for
can make
3
it rough
years.
on whoever they play.
Yeah, that's definitely not who I'd want to start out my playoffs against. It's Miami.
They have like the same team for the last 3 years and haven't made it past the first round.
It is pretty weird
Besides
how
Dwayne
it has
when he
pretty
went
much
to
been the exact
Chicago.
same team.
Yeah. A bunch of people that no one's ever heard of that apparently become somewhat relevant.
D-Wade, leader of men.
Yeah. So I mean, that's really it. There's really never really much to talk about in the NBA until after All-Star break when things actually start heating up.
Trade deadline.
I mean, we can talk about the All-Star break, but no one really cares. Maybe we can reference
Just the dunk contest.
Yeah, we can reference who won the dunk contest and talk about when Klay Thompson or Steph Curry win the 3-point contest.
Kyle Korver.
Ooh, is he invited?
I don't know.
I
hope he does.
Kyle Korver wins 3-point and dunk contest.
Possible.
Oh.
All right.
I want Korver to win the 3-point contest and then just retire.
Has he ever won one?
He holds up the trophy.
As he's holding grabs the mic, I'm out. Mic drop.
Has he ever won one?
Yes.
Yeah, dude sprays.
Yeah, come on.
All right, so I think
I
think that's gonna wrap up.
Yeah, this is it's been a great episode of the Sort of Stupid Sports Podcast.
A little less dysfunctional than last week.
Yeah.
Matt, anything about esports? All right, and that's esports. Have a great week.
We'll see
Love
you
you
next
guys.
week.
Bye.
Peace
Deuces.
out, y'all.
And blame it.
That's a dick.